Kagucia, before we go to the next statement. Honorable Kagucia, I know you're seized of the response. Do you have any follow-up questions? Don't debate, make a follow-up question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I note that the PES has admitted to the acute shortage of the blood testing kits and reagents in the country. Honorable Speaker, what the PES is telling us is that this has been occasioned by budget shortfalls. Honorable Speaker, at the point when I was raising this question, we had very serious challenges with the kits. But may I now inform Kenyans that we do not only have a problem with the kits, but this problem has also escalated even to the refreshments that are given to the blood donors when they go to do the donations. Honorable Speaker, today, the blood donors are required to buy their own refreshments. Honorable Speaker, the impact of this is that there has been increased deaths for patients who are seeking emergency services and blood transfusion. Honorable Speaker, you can also see a connection between the high maternity mortality rate in the country to this lack of blood transfusion. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I find the response by the PS lacking in many ways. He says that he has requested for 500 million and gotten 100 million, okay. But Honorable Speaker, the PS is now proposing to ration blood in the country in what he's calling the operational adjustment and efficiency. That is prioritizing high demand facilities, leaving out the low demand facilities. Honorable Speaker, this is very serious because if you are going to demand to now prioritize the high the high demand facilities, are you telling us that one patient who requires blood in those low blood demand facilities are not as important? Honorable Speaker, from this the response, I also find that like the PS is helplessly hoping to get some well-wishers to donate kits as he awaits budgetary allocation. Honorable Speaker, can you imagine the whole country of Kenya relying on the well-wishers? He says that he's going to do a framework contract. But how does this help if at all you don't have budget? Then he's also proposing to have public-private partnership on issues of blood. We cannot leave the issues of blood to the private individuals. Honorable Speaker, I want to just highlight something because I want to help the PS and I also want to help our chair, Health. I have looked at the shortfall of the budget that the Speaker, this ministry has alluded to. He says that we had 700 million that was allocated, but this was reduced to 300 million. Honorable Speaker, I have been able to allocate, to find where this 400 donated 85 million shillings. ADC Vihiga Church, the president donated 50 million shillings. AIPC Centenary, the president donated 50 million shillings. In Jesus Winners Ministry, the president donated 100 million shillings. AIC was in issue, the president donated 20 million shillings. Honorable Speaker, I have been able to get where the money for blood transfusion has been going to. Honorable Speaker, the president is taking the money for blood donation to the churches and taking them to empowerment programs when Kenyans are left to die.
Honorable Kagucia. Order, members. You do not have to raise your hands. You are not in a classroom. Honorable members, use your interventions. Honorable member for Nandi, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Member Kagucia to blatantly lie about donations that were made by I don't know who? I was in a meeting in Kapsabet, Honorable Speaker, and I never had such an amount. And Honorable Speaker, does it dictate what someone gives? Because that is a personal contribution, if at all it was given. And if he's
measures have been put in place to ensure that the problems uncovered by this House, including, Honorable Speaker, that opaqueness, the onerous terms, including payments to these IPPs denominated in dollar currency, lack of transparency, and even measures put in place to give priority, Honorable Speaker, to IPPs who've been waiting for these power purchase agreements, like the one solar plant in Nyeri that we saw. Somebody had been waiting 13 years for the power purchase agreement. What measures have been put in place to make sure there will be no corruption this time around, that there will be no onerous terms that have been put on those IPPs for Kenyans to enjoy low power costs? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator from Meru County, Senator Kathuri Murungi. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I want also to take this opportunity to welcome my brother, Minute CS for Energy in this House. Honourable Speaker, I served with him for 10 years in the National Assembly. So when I see him here, I'm very proud that we are really also progressing to other tasks in this country. And I hope also in the near future will also be in another level, maybe since we are progressing positively, not negative. So, Mr. Speaker, Meru County, Mr. Speaker, the connectivity in Meru is very low, especially in some constituencies. And I saw also the PS in one of the constituencies. Igembe North has 19.2% of households that are connected. Similarly, Tigania East, 19.4%, Tigania West, 24%, Igembe Central, 22.3%. I'm aware that there is a money set aside for Meru connectivity, electricity connectivity at 2.4 billion. But going with these statistics, Honourable CS, I don't think we can do much in that county because the figures, as I've read, you can see we have a challenge. So what is the ministry doing to make sure that these constituencies with low connectivity at least match up to 50% of the households to be connected by 2027? Maybe is there an elaborate plan that the ministry has at least to lift these constituencies with low connectivity, at least to match those with 50% and 70%. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Senator for Nandi County, the Honourable Samson Charanke.
Mr. Speaker, on this part outage or power blackout, I've seen the CS has conveniently left out a very important issue. My concern is on the replacement, especially when there is a power blackout or outage in a region. Especially in Nandi, we have a number of faulty transformers. So my question is, if there is no load shedding or power rationing, how long does it take to replace most of the faulty transformers? And I know it might not have been the CS then, but can you shed light? Because, Speaker, the reason we have power outage mostly is because when the transformers are faulty or they are damaged. So how long does it take to replace one transformer, Mr. Speaker? And is there ways to establish the needs or the support within that power line of transformer so that we can put this matter to rest? I thank you, Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I just wanted to ask the CS, what is the national average connectivity for the country, and how does Tharaka Nithi compare to Murang'a, Nyeri, Meru, Kiambu, so that we can have a fair comparison of the west and the east of the mountain in terms of connectivity, Honourable Speaker?
Honourable CS, you may now proceed to respond. Before you respond, Honourable CS, Senator Boni, you had a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we don't understand why when this rationing is there, Western Kenya tends to be the biggest casualty. What is the reason? You are well placed to tell us, because fortunately for us, you also come from Western Kenya. And by that I mean Western Province, the former Nyanza Province, and parts of Rift Valley, Uasin Gishu, and Nandi. What is the reason?
Honourable CS, you have 5 minutes to respond to those supplementary questions. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Let me just answer these questions in the order they came, but some will be answered jointly. For instance, the matter of connectivity, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, as a country, we are committed to attaining universal electricity access by the year 2030, Honourable Speaker. That is a commitment that the government has made and is working progressively towards attaining. Honourable Speaker, As we speak, the national connectivity, average national connectivity is about 76%. The national access rate. And of course, it goes without saying that different parts of the country are at different levels, Honorable Speaker. I may need to go back and come up with comprehensive data covering every part of the country, Honorable Speaker. Suffice it to say, Honorable Speaker, that in Tharaka Nithi County, for instance, Mara and Chuka-Igamba-Ng'ombe constituencies are fairly ahead of Tharaka constituency. Yes, but I can share the specific figures with the House, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, at an opportune moment. What is critical is that we are working progressively towards attaining universal access by the year 2030, Honorable Speaker. As a matter of fact, Kenya is also a party to the Africa Mission 300, which is a serious endeavor being spearheaded by the World Bank and Africa Development Bank to bring on board some additional 300 million people to access electricity. Okay? Honorable Speaker, the second issue, of course, about Mutembei University, it is an isolated case, and of course, the relevant entity is seized of the matter. Yes, it is regrettable that it's taken long, but we are hopeful that by the time we are leaving this place, power will be back. Yes, I've been assured, Honorable Speaker. Again, Honorable Speaker, the issue of stable, reliable power supply, I have spoken to it at length. And I've said that we have a number of initiatives that we have embarked on, including the nuclear energy power that Senator Ruto talked about. For the first time, this country is looking at a clear case of establishing a nuclear power plant. And we are more than determined that by the year 2027, 2028, we should be doing some groundbreaking, Honorable Speaker. And that nuclear power plant, Honorable Speaker, is going initially to produce some 5,000 megawatts, which is significant, Honorable Speaker, of course, in different phases. The first one, of course, being in Siaya County, as has been proclaimed by His Excellency the President. Honorable Speaker, the matter of PPAs has been spoken to, again, at length, by various houses, committees of this House and the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, we are learning from past experiences and therefore making improvements to the process of coming up with the PPAs. Honorable Speaker, if one takes time to read the report of the Committee on Energy of the National Assembly that has ultimately lifted the moratorium, Honorable Speaker, you will see a raft of recommendations in that committee report. Amongst of which are one, for the first time now, these PPAs will only come into force upon approval by the Attorney General. Something that was never the case before. That enhances transparency, Honorable Speaker, to a very, very large extent. Again, for the first time, Honorable Speaker, from the recommendation of that committee's report, these PPAs will be pegged on both Kenya shillings and dollars for the first time. Previously, of course, they were basically and exclusively dollar denominated. Honorable Speaker, it's also important to point out that in developing these PPAs, we are guided by the Least Coast Power Development Plan, which is our blueprint. It's our guidebook in terms of determining how much power we need to generate when and where, Honorable Speaker. Meru County, of course, just like the other counties surrounding it, we are making progress in terms of driving accessibility to electricity, Honorable Speaker. And we have allocated some 2.3 billion shillings, Honorable Speaker, which we are currently implementing to connect some 27,500 or so households additionally to electricity. Again, the matter of faulty transformers in Nandi County is not isolated. We are working closely through our Kenya Power entity to ensure that these replacements, when they are due, they are done. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, we continue to have very robust engagement with political leaders, especially members of parliament, from time to time. Since they are the people's representatives, we get to understand what is the feelings of the people on the ground. Through them, no week passes without us having an engagement with one group or the other of members of parliament and other leaders, including governors, and MCAs indeed, Honorable Speaker. The matter of Western Kenya, Honorable Speaker, again, we are alive to it, and we have put in place very, very deliberate measures to address the issue of power and liability in Western Kenya, just as we do for the rest of the country. A number of transmission lines are currently under implementation, and a number of improvements, including upgrading of substations. I can count very many of them, Honorable Speaker, if at that time. But I could share with you and the House more comprehensive information and data concerning these improvements, these projects that we are implementing to ensure that Western Kenya, just like any other part of the country, is serviced adequately and appropriately and consistently by Kenya Power and our other relevant agencies. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Now, Honorable Senators, we will terminate our interaction with the CS.